My name is Laura Markowitz. I've been a contributing producer for Arizona Public Media for about 13 years. The Children of the Holocaust Stories of Survival project was inspired by the Ken Burns documentary, The U.S. and the Holocaust, and that first aired in September. Arizona Public Media sponsored 2 live public events in which Holocaust survivors were invited to speak. And that kind of got the ball rolling. So when this opportunity came up, I was extremely, interested, because I also feel like in our society right now, there's a resurgence of a lot of ideas that were popular when Hitler came to power. So, the old saying that those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it.
I just hope that if children are going to listen to this or watch this, that they would think about how life can change on a drop of a pin.
Not a lot of people in Tucson know about what Holocaust means.
You don't have a country if you don't have history, and if you don't teach history. And it seems that this is what is happening over here today.
Isn't that incredible? That's an incredible picture. My task was to reach out to Jewish Family and Children's Services. They're a local nonprofit agency here in Tucson. I went to their support group, introduced myself and introduced the project, and asked if anybody wanted to tell their stories and be recorded for Arizona Public Media. Every hand in the room went up.
I think it's important for people everywhere to know about that extreme genocide.
What we're interested in is recording the details, the memories. What did it feel like when bombs were falling and you were not allowed to go into a bomb shelter because you were a Jew and you were hiding in an attic? What did it feel like to starve? What did it feel like to watch your mother walk away, and never see her again? The reason we want that isn't prurient interest. It's because that's what touches us. Then we can really understand the impact of something as horrific as an attempted genocide.
And we should convey that message to the young people, that they remember what happened in the Holocaust, so they know what happens there in that period, that this was never, even in old times they never did that kind of a massacre, for a specific race to be wiped out.
That was really unbelievable. This is many things. It's so many things. I can write a book about these details, but this is no way to explain.
So what we do is we really focus on what was their family life like before the war, and then the war starts. We really talk about their experiences, and then liberation. That's kind of the scope.
The first time my daughter heard my story is when I went to Fort Huachuca and I was talking to the soldiers over there.
I didn't tell this to anybody, and to my children, to anybody. I didn't want anybody to know.
I tell nobody. I didn't, because people sometimes don't believe that. People don't believe what you went through, but you can't tell. He's not going to believe you.
One of the first groups I was addressing, and all of a sudden I realized in the back, very in the back, was my grandson. He had never heard about this before, and neither had his dad. Nobody knew about it. I kept it complete to myself.
We have to ask ourselves, who do we want to be? In this story, when you hear these stories, who would you want to be? And I think that's the desired impact from my perspective. I would like people, just as I have been thinking about, who would I be? You know, and I think this is the great, ethical question, moral question that we humans in every generation have to ask ourselves. And what kind of world do we want to live in? What do we mean to one another? I personally believe we're all connected. And, racism is our biggest tragedy.